Hello and welcome to another 140k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I would like to say a big thank you to Austin Summers for sending in some awesome pictures of his first few Guard models. These guys are painted up in just a simple 6-colour scheme, but I actually think it works really well. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like a bit of contrast paint, which is just... Contrast is so good for just, pounding out the guardsmen, for just burning through those squads really quickly and getting your infantry forces on the table nice and fast. So thank you for this picture, Austin. Really fantastic models. In your email, you also asked me a question of when you've got these first 3 squads, where to go next. Canadian Defence Force, or start collecting, or if you can get a chance with the new Bastion platoon box. If you're looking for a big injection of models to get yourself up to a nice, well-rounded, maybe 500 to 750 point force, then I cannot strongly recommend enough the Canadian Defence Force box. It is fantastic. It comes with a bit of armour and plenty more infantry and some officers to lead your men. And especially with the officer kit that you get in that box, you can build enough commanders to see you through. So that was what I would recommend. And then maybe another one of those, and then some more start collecting. After that, it's pretty much your own. Choose what you like, because you'll have a nice solid core at that point. But yeah, thank you for sending these pictures in, Austin. If anyone else has got any cool pictures they want me to use in my videos, please post on my Facebook page or email them to me, and there will be links and emails down in the description below. So today's video, we are going to be doing a quick tip tactica on a good way to add some much needed maneuverability and firepower to your Imperial Guard army. And the way that I would suggest you do that is you can add chimeras, but they're fast, but they ain't that fast. And they've got some DACA, but they ain't got that much DACA. If you want DACA, durability, and speed, and transportation all in one go, then I think that you should get yourself a Valkyrie. They're probably one of the most cost-effective planes and transports in the game at the moment. They're also surprisingly durable. They have an inbuilt -1 to hit because they're flying. They have toughness 7, which is decent. So sort of not good, not bad, not great, not terrible. 3.6. But what makes them stand out is they are like flying bricks, like everything in the Imperial Guard, and they have 14 wounds, which is 2 more wounds than a Lehman Russ. The great thing about the Valkyrie is that it's sort of slowly but surely received some buffs between additions and psychic awakenings and whatnot, for it now to actually become quite an effective little gumbo, and to keep its durability. So we'll go through some of the ways that I would recommend running the Valkyrie. So first thing I would say is it comes stock with the multi-laser and the Hellstrike missiles. Now, despite the fact that that's a plural, missiles, you can only fire 1 shot per turn from it, which means that you do get essentially like a crack missile with some reroll damage inbuilt to it, but it's only 1 shot a turn, which is the problem with the Valkyrie, that the standard missiles it comes with, 1 shot ain't enough. Now, the way I would recommend you use your Valkyries is as a strafing gunship, essentially. So you want to kit it out for anti-infantry, which it is quite good at doing. So you want to be probably sticking with the multi-laser. In all honesty, guys, you could upgrade to the las cannon, but I've put it this way: I've seen a lot of people say upgrade to the las cannon because on paper it looks good, but I have I don't think I've ever seen a Valkyrie las cannon actually achieve what it needs to achieve. That can be, you watch Tabletop Tactics, you can watch multiple battle reports that I've got. I've faced off against an aircraft Scions list multiple times, and at the beginning of that, if you want to see the army in action, there's some juicy little battle reports with it involved. If you want to, and I've never seen those las cannons do anything, and my friend who has the pure Scions army, he used to upgrade to las cannons, and just over the course of 8th and now 9th edition, those las cannons have been dropped, and he keeps with the multi-laser. And the preferred way that he runs them, and the way that I think is most effective, is you run them with a multi-laser, and then you swap the Hellstrike missiles out for multiple rocket pods, because you actually get 2 of them, and then you strap on a pair of heavy bolters. Now, when you throw all that together, your little gunboat, for less than 150 points, for less than the price of a Lehman Russ, you have a vehicle which is just as durable as a Lehman Russ. It's got the inbuilt -1 and it's got the 2 extra wounds. But it also has 6 heavy bolter shots, an average of another 7 Hellstrike missile shots, which is basically like another bunch of heavy bolter shots, but they only damage 1. And also you've got a multi-laser. So on average, you're looking at a vehicle which will be putting out 16 shots a turn, which is quite good. Bear in mind, 6 of those shots are going to be damage 2 now, thanks to heavy bolters. Now, let's say you're facing up against the new hotness, which is things like Death Guard. Those heavy bolters aren't going to, damage 2 is not going to matter, but you'll have the volume of fire thanks to the multiple rocket pods. So it is, sort of swings and roundabouts. And this is quite a good effect because the majority of the firepower, in fact, all the firepower is pretty much strength 5. The multi-laser strength 6, but whatever. Like the majority of the firepower is strength 5 or better. That means you're in that sweet spot. You're in the sweet zone for the wounding table. So you'll never wound anything on worse than a 3, and you will never wound. You'll never wound anything worse than a 5, and you'll wound nearly everything that you want to wound on 3s. And even if you're shooting at the new Death Guard, you'll still be wounding on 4s, and the multi-laser will actually be good because it'll still be wounding on 3s. So it's quite a tasty little package. Now, all this, the extra 2 damage is a nice little buff for the Valkyrie that it received via the edition change. Another nice little buff is the fact that it is now a vehicle. Well, it's always been a vehicle, but now thanks to 9th edition, it can move and shoot without penalty. Before, it didn't used to be able to do that. It had to go into hover mode and risk losing its -1 to hit. But now, again, thanks to Psychic Awakening, if you take your Valkyries as a sound detachment, or within a sound detachment, you can keep the -1 to hit even if you go into hover mode. So how this works, guys, is if you go into hover mode, pre-game, you can spend 1 CP for advanced countermeasures, which allows you to keep your -1 to hit. Now, obviously, thanks to 9th edition, it doesn't stack with the flying -1. It just means you will, whether you're hovering or whether you are zooming around, you'll always keep your -1 to hit, which is really, really nice. Now, you might be saying, but why would I want to go in the hover mode if I can just zoom around without penalty? Thanks to 9th edition and vehicles. Well, the reason you want your Valkyrie to go into hover mode is because it gets +1 to hit when, I believe it's when shooting ground targets, but it gets +1 to hit. It's called roving gunship. Essentially, it's hovering and acting as a gun platform, but like an Apache helicopter in many ways. I'm sure some military people will tell me that's not what Apaches do, but that's how I see them in the movies. I just thought they popped up from behind hills, shot things, and popped back down again. But the point is that when you stack all these buffs together, if you want to summarise this for you guys, you've got heavy bolters which do more damage. You've got volume of fire, so even if you come across something like Death Guard, you've still got volume of fire to break them down. And the multi-laser actually is semi-effective. You've got strength 5, so you're on the majority of your weapons, you're always in the sweet spot for the wounding table. And you can hit on 3s with your Valkyrie, and it will keep its inbuilt -1 as well if you spend a CP on it pre-game. All these, this is all this in a package for approximately, I think it's less than 150 points, guys. It's about 150 points, so it's cheap. For for the price of a Lehman Russ, you're getting something with good DACA, good durability, good maneuverability, and when you stack on top of the fact that it has a transport capacity, so if you want to, you can throw some Bullgryns in the back of that thing, although now they're probably better for throwing things like veterans or command squads in the back, but you've got the transport capacity, which gives that unit versatility. It can fulfill a variety of battlefield roles. Do you want just some standard, just strength 5, hitting on 3s, firepower to sit at the back of the board? You've got it. You've got it. It's all 36-inch range on those guns. You just sit back and you just blast away. But then maybe the next game you go into a tournament. The next game, you've got someone who's backfielding, and you're like, I need to get in there. I need to drop off some melter, in that gun line against those Marines or against those Tau. Right. I can load up my command squads, or I can load up one of my veteran squads, and I can just fly them in the back, drop them out, start harassing and causing some damage. They're just a really solid all-round transport. Now, obviously, everything can change with, you know, new codexes and whatnot. I don't know when we're getting one, by the way, guys. I've not been forewarned. But for now, through 8th edition and through 9th edition, the Valkyrie has not been an overpowered unit, but has been a nice, solid, dependable workhorse. And it has only got better and better as the additions and the buffs and the little bits of extra bonuses here and there have fed into the unit. So we'll leave it there, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please leave lots of comments. Let me know if there's any other units you'd like me to sort of re-review. And let me know what you think about the video. Anyway, without further ado, thank you for watching. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.